Hey guys, Kurgan here, and in this video I'm going to be bringing you a guide to 31 Dervish. Now 31 Dervish is the melee DPS soul for Primalist and is currently the top DPS spec out of all callings. So yeah, it's pretty good, and also it brings some passive cleave and the raid wide crit debuff on target, so it has some good utility. It's just very strong. Some might even say OP. But that's not for me to judge. So let's look at the soul tree. So what we're using is 31 Dervish and 4 Typhoon and 4 Vulcanist. The talents we're picking up is Storm Strength from Typhoon and Furious Power from Vulcanist. Now the masteries we're going to be using are Spiritualism, Elemental Affinity, Earth Sign Tenacity, Steadfast Rejuvenation, and Primordial Strength. Okay, so the macros we're going to be using, we have two macros. One's the Fury macro, the other is the Cunning Macro. So those are in the description below, so pick them up. In addition to this, we need the keybinds of Fury Blast, Air Cutter, Seismic Smash, Savage Twister, Primal Avatar, and Squall. The buffs that we're going to be using are Font of Savagery and Zephyr. Right, there are also two Kalerts which I use for this. I have them in the description as well, so be sure to copy those into your Kalert. Right, so now we can talk about actually how we deal our damage as 31 Dervish. So the way I'm going to be teaching you is a set 1 minute rotation, which doesn't deviate a lot. And just a word of warning, this might not be the 100% optimal way to play this, but it's very simple and also still is very effective. So that's what I'll be teaching you. And to help you understand the rotation before I get started on it, there's really kind of 3 or 4 concepts which I'm going to explain so you can understand the rotation. So first off, we have 2 very strong abilities in Dervish. One is called Whirling Dervish, which when at 100 cunning, it does its maximum damage, so we always want to be using it at 100 cunning. And this is important because we also, once it comes off cooldown, we need to be at the right part of the Primalist bar. Now, we also have Earthfall, which is like Whirling Dervish, which is also a 3-second channel, but instead of 100 cunning, it's 100 fury, which it has to be used at. Well, it doesn't have to, but it's a lot stronger if you do. So this leads our rotation to be kind of like going between cunning and fury at certain points. So the other main mechanic that we have is Air Cutter. Now Air Cutter has a 3-second cast time, but this cast time gets reduced to 0 every time you use a Fury or Earth ability. They're actually, all Earth abilities are Fury abilities, just to be clear. And a lot of the rotation will be us using Fury ability followed by Air Cutter and going back and forth with those two. The kind of last bit, well actually there's 2 last bits, I'll just go through them. Savage Twister is a very strong dot which we'll be using pretty much as soon as it falls off, but we always need to be at harmony for this to be strong, Savage Twister. So keep that in mind, and that will help you understand what we're doing. And then we have our big 1 minute cooldown, which is Primal Avatar Wind Serpent. This is just our cooldown, and it helps us start the rotation. It also makes our cast time of Air Cutter 0 seconds, so this helps us just spam it during our cooldowns. Okay, now you guys know the core concepts of Dervish. I'm now going to show you the set minute rotation. This minute rotation just repeats over and over as the fight goes on, so you just need to learn this and then you're set. So I'm going to literally just do it on the dummy and talk you through exactly what I'm doing and what order everything is in. So let's begin. So we're going to start off with Seismic Smash into Primal Avatar and then Whirling Dervish, and I'll talk you from there. Okay, here we go. So Seismic Smash, Primal Avatar, Whirling Dervish, then we're going to go Savage Twister into 7 Air Cutters until we get to 70 Fury. Then at 70 Fury, we go the Cunning Macro into Fury Macro with the Earthfall channel, Air Cutter, Fury, Air Cutter, Savage Twister, Fury twice, into Air Cutter, Fury, Air Cutter, Fury, Air Cutter, Fury, Air Cutter, Fury into Whirling Dervish, which is your Cunning Macro, and then Savage Twister into Air Cutter, then Cunning, Fury Blast, Cunning, 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 and then into Fury, then Air Cutter into Fury, Air Cutter, Savage Twister. Then we're going to just do Fury, Air Cutters until we get Primal Avatar and Whirling Dervish back up. Okay, now they're back up. And then we just begin from where we started as the minute's over. That is the minute rotation, and there's no real good way for me to teach it apart from that, so I would try and follow it and repeat this section of video over and over again and practice it yourself, and you should start to understand the flow of it. It's actually quite easy to follow the rotation because all we're doing is that we're going to 100 Cunning when Whirling Dervish is off cooldown, and then we're getting to 100 Fury when Earthfall is off cooldown. As 31 Dervish, you have access to ability Squall. If you don't have an Assassin or Nightblade Sin or a champ in your group or raid, you should be applying this to your boss target and keeping it up every minute so that this crit debuff is applied to the boss. Just make sure that if you're in a group or a raid, just mention it and ask if you think you should be doing it. If they say yes, just go ahead and do it. Otherwise, that pretty much sums up my 31 Dervish guide. I hope you guys found it useful. If you have any questions, leave something in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer it. Okay, thank you for watching, guys.